everybody, it's Anya, the adult doll and toy collector. Welcome back to the small plastic world. My Squishmallow, Apple the bat, is here today because Apple is green. And in our video today, we are going to be participating in a hashtag mental health doll community. This was started by Jamie over at Beyond the Doll Room, one of my favorite channels. It's linked in the title and in the description box. Go and check it out. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about mental health awareness. So along with Apple here, I thought we would talk about a thrifted doll that I have that is wearing green, namely our DC Superhero Girls Poison Ivy doll. I thrifted this doll from a Goodwill that I sometimes go to, and they very, very rarely ever have dolls. One day I was there and I found this doll, and she just had such kind of a pretty face. And I don't have any of these dolls, so I just could not leave her there because it's such a rarity that I find a doll. But before we get into it, I just wanted to talk a little bit about mental health awareness. I know in years past there was stigma around talking about mental health, and I don't know why, because mental health is just another aspect of human health. And we all have times in our lives when we could use a helping hand, or we just need a little time to get our mental health in a better state. And just to make it personal, I was absent from YouTube for a little while, a few months ago, and honestly, it was because my mental health wasn't where I wanted it to be. The Germans seem to have a word for everything, and I believe their word Weltschmerz, I think I'm saying that properly. If not, please let me know. I think you can translate it to kind of like world weariness, fits what I was going through. I didn't feel inspired to create or to make videos or even really kind of watch videos. And there wasn't one thing that really helped me, but something I did try to focus on, things that do bring me joy, like my dolls, and also this wonderful doll community that we have here on YouTube. Everyone is so kind and supportive, and eventually that did help me feel better, and just trying to keep my focus a little more on things that bring me joy in the day-to-day. And that brings me back to this lovely doll. I didn't know really anything about these dolls. I've seen them in the stores, in boxes, but like I said, I'd never purchased one, or I'd never seen one in person. I thought they had bodies more similar to Monster High or Ever After High. I was very surprised to see that is not at all the case. Here is Widona Spider, who's kind enough to also be in the video so I could show you. Even accounting for Widona being on a doll stand, the superhero girls are much, much bigger, much taller. Their proportions are bigger. And I was hoping they could share shoes, but no, their feet are very different. The G1 Monster High feet are more of a high heel, and the superhero girl feet are wider. So I'm guessing that those wrestling dolls that Mattel came out with, maybe the bodies are more modeled on them because they have a more muscular look to them. If you have any of those wrestling dolls, and please definitely comment and let me know. These dolls do have the larger heads, and I know the wrestling dolls had a more proportionate head. But let's talk about this doll's articulation. You can sort of pivot her head, not a lot, definitely moves side to side. Her arms do swing out at the shoulder and back and forth, of course. She has a nice elbow joint and a nice wrist that pivots and turns. She does not have any kind of waist joint. Her hips go out to the side a little bit. They don't go back very far, but they do bend out so she can sit, and she has a nice leg joint. When I thrifted the doll, she was missing her shoes, which is unfortunate because look how cute these shoes are. Plus, I read somewhere that these dolls might be able to stand up on their own. She can't do it without shoes, but I'm wondering if she can do it with shoes. So if you have this doll, or if you have other DC Superhero Girl dolls and please definitely let me know. She has just a pretty face that is kind of cartoony, but I like how it's simple. She has painted green eyes and a pretty kind of a hot pink lip, which I like. I did clean her up, but I was not able to get whatever the stain is off her, unfortunately. She does not have pierced ears. She has long, bright red hair that's a couple shades. I'm hoping you can see that on camera. There's almost like a dark red shade underneath, and then some strands that are more orange. It's just a really pretty effect. There's a very slight wave to it. You can see here that some of the hair is still crimped. I believe part of this hair would have been up in a partial ponytail, and then there was a little plastic vine and flower attached to her hair, and unfortunately she was missing that too, but her hair did clean up very nicely. She did come with a few pieces of her original outfit, including this green one-piece, I guess it's a partial jumpsuit. It opens and closes in the back with Velcro. She also came with this piece that goes over it. It's a see-through sort of a netting material with a print, hot pink roses, and some green glittery leaves. That also opens and closes with Velcro, and I think it looks really nice on. It's got a much lower hem in the back. It gives it a nice kind of a dress effect. And the doll also came with her belt, flexible light green plastic with a painted hot pink rose in the center, and it clasps in the back. And here is what that looks like on the doll. The doll also would have come with a piece that was on her arm that looks similar to the belt, and she does have this stain on her hand, and I'm not sure what it is. Do you think maybe it's nail polish? I wonder if nail polish remover might get that off. Let me know if that's a bad idea or anything. This doll cleaned up beautifully. I don't know that I would go out of my way to get more of these dolls, but on the other hand, I do think this is a very nice doll. I like her pretty face, I like her outfit pieces, and I'm glad I was able to get those. I might try to do something with her hair, maybe get a little creative, restore it a little bit closer to what it would have looked like out of the box, and we'll have to think of something to do about shoes, but that will have to happen on a later date. I think this doll would actually make a really nice friend for Venus from Monster High. They have such a similar theme with the vines and everything. Although, isn't Poison Ivy kind of a villain? I don't really know much about these DC superhero dolls, or like if there's storylines and what I should know, and I don't, obviously, because I always think of this Poison Ivy character from when Uma Thurman played this character in one of the Batman movies. Anyway, set me straight in the comments for sure. If you did a video with this hashtag, please let me know in the comments so I can check out your video. Definitely check out Beyond the Doll Room if you haven't already seen Jamie's video, and I know other people have made videos. It's a very important topic. Never be afraid to ask for help if you do need help, or never be afraid to take a break if you need to take a break and refocus or whatever. There's nothing wrong with any of that. So thank you so much for joining Poison Ivy and joining me today to talk about mental health awareness and to take a look at this thrifted doll. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.